Hello guys, I am back for part 3 on Naruto, the Toad Sage's Apprentice by Grady Hilgendorf. Let's start chapter 7, Genjutsu, and the first task. It had been 2 weeks since Naruto had returned from the mission to Wave, and Naruto was currently looking for his ever-perverted sensei at the various women-only hot springs around the village, and becoming more and more frustrated that he was not at any of his favorite places. Damn that Arrow Sennin, where the hell is he? I need him to train me or at least get a mission. I haven't done one since last week when I had to go catch fish with teammate. And even then I had to stay on land after the first hour because Hinata kept passing out when I tried to take my shirt off to go for a swim to catch them. Naruto was brought out of his musings when he heard a perverted chuckle. Standing behind him was Jiraiya writing in his notepad. Obviously something Naruto had said had given him inspiration. The thought of being in one of his sensei's perverted books was not appealing to the blonde, and he quickly stole the notepad and ripped out the page before Jiraiya could respond. Stupid perverted sensei, you're not using me in your books. Now why didn't you show up for training today? I'm still having trouble cutting the leaf. I don't know what I am doing wrong, Naruto said. Damn it Gaki, you didn't need to tear the page out. And I was late because I was signing you up for the Chunin exams. Normally, you would need a team of 3 to compete, but because of who I am, the Hokage allowed you in solo, the white-haired Toad Charmer proclaimed. Yeah, whatever, you probably just promised Gigi a signed copy of your next book before it comes out or something. Now help me with my wind manipulation, the blonde whined. Fine Gaki, okay, well I'm a Kaiten and Don't affinity, Futon is rare even in Suna. Right now I can only think of 2 people who are wind users. And trust me, you don't want to have anything to do with Danzo. You should ask Asuma, although I would wait until after the Chunin exams. He will be busy getting his team ready, so just keep trying for now. How's the Rasengan going? Jiraiya said, curious how the rest of his young apprentice's training was progressing. Okay, I guess I just can't focus on the rotation, power and stability. It's like I start to get it and it just slips away. I can hold it for about 15 seconds, Naruto said, dejected that the final stage was proving much harder than the others. Well, you could just use shadow clones to complete the training, the Toad Sage said. No, I want to do this myself and beat your time in learning it. ... Wait, that's it, you're a genius, Arrow Sennin, the blonde cheered. Thanks. I guess the sage replied, unsure of what he said. If he was still refusing to use shadow clones in training, what else could he have said that would give the kid a breakthrough? Naruto created a single shadow clone next to him and it started to spin the chakra whilst the original focused on power and stability. Soon there was a perfectly formed Rasengan in the blonde's hand. Yes, I did it, Sierra Sennin. Instead of using the clones to train, I can split up the roles until I can do it perfectly, but it's good enough, the excitable ninja said, proudly letting the Rasengan disappear. Well done Gaki. Let's go get some ramen to celebrate, the white-haired man said. Yeah, ramen, 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 the blonde yelled happily as he walked with his sensei to his favorite ramen store. Ichiraku ramen. Okay Gaki, excellent work on the Rasengan. You have it so it's usable, although in hardly the conventional way, but still well done. Now for the rest of the week we are going to focus on Genjutsu, Jiraiya said. Why, Arrow Sennin? I thought you told me I would never have any real ability added because my chakra levels were so high, Naruto asked, curious as to why he would be focusing the last week before the Chunin exams on something he would never be able to do well. That's true, you have about as much talent for Genjutsu as my former teammate has in gambling. But at the same time you need to be able to recognize a high-level one and dispel it. Otherwise, the second you run into a Genjutsu user in the exam, you will be about as useless as an academy student faced with the prospect of facing Tora hyped up on catnip, the white-haired man stated. Naruto paled at just the thought of Tora on catnip, and he was rather confident he could hold his own against most Chunin. Okay, I get it, so how do we do this? Kurenai-sensei showed me some basics, the blonde asked, still in fear of Tora the terrible hyped up on cat crack. Well, as you know, there are 2 ways. The first and easiest is to cause pain to yourself, which is fine if you're as sadistic as Zenko. But in the highly likely event that you are not sexually aroused by blood, what you have to do is disrupt your chakra flow by performing the required hand sign and saying Kai. This stops your chakra flow, then bursts it out around you, dispelling the Genjutsu, the Toad Sage said. So when are we going to start? I mean, the exams are in just over a week, Naruto asked. Well, start tomorrow. I'm not good with Genjutsu, so I will have to get some help, Jiraiya answered. They ate happily until Jiraiya was given the bill and then went their separate ways. Naruto was just happy to be learning a new skill whilst the old pervert was distracted by 2 women heading towards his favorite researching area. The following day, training ground 2. Hey Aro-sen, how are we going to learn this? I mean, you said you weren't good at genjutsu either, but I don't see anyone else here. Naruto asked, curious to see how he would be training with his worst skill set. Jiraiya wasted no time and summoned what looked like two elderly toads. One with a gray beard and hair, whilst the other had curly black hair and was holding a rolling pin and was not looking happy. Jiraiya-chan, what did you call us for? I was in the middle of making centipede soup, the toad with the rolling pin said in a feminine voice, indicating that the toad was female. Now ma, I am sure Jiraiya-chan wouldn't have summoned us for anything. Now what do you need, boy? The toad with the gray hair asked. Oh yes, Fukusaku-sama, Shima-sama, this is Naruto Uzumaki and my new apprentice and toad summoner, Naruto. These are the two toad elders. Jiraiya introduced the two. Nice to meet you, elder toads, Naruto greeted respectfully. Well anyway, Fukusaku-sama, Shima-sama, I was wondering if you would help me teach the boy to detect and dispel genjutsu, because if he can disrupt your jutsu he will be safe from almost all genjutsu, Jiraiya said, hoping that the flattery of their skills would save him from Shima's rolling pin. Very well, we can help the boy, but next time you call us it better be for something serious or else, the old toad, Shima said, slowly patting the wooden object in her hand, getting small whimpers from the tall man. Naruto created 100 clones to disrupt the genjutsu that the elderly toads were about to cast, and by the end of the day he had only made a small progress. It had proved it was going to take a bit longer than Jiraiya previously thought. The week passed and Naruto had finally been able to dispel most of the illusions placed on him, and could detect them all. Naruto had discovered the genjutsu that he couldn't remove could be taken care of by channeling small amounts of Kyuubi's chakra, but still found it difficult to know how much he could control, as he didn't want to lose control. But he had discovered he could use it without side effects up until the yokai cloak formed around him and the negative emotions fed the fox's power. It was the day before the first task of the Chunin exams, and Naruto was currently amusing himself at the sight of what appeared to be a perfectly square rock with eye holes cut into it, following the young Jinchuriki around. Okay Konohamaru, you can come out now. I mean seriously, a square rock, you can do better than that, the blonde said in amusement. Suddenly the rock exploded in a puff, revealing 3 children about 3 years younger than Naruto who were coughing from what appeared to be too much smoke powder. Just what I would have expected from my rival boss, said the boy with a long scarf and brown spiky hair. Hi, I'm Moegi and I am the prettiest girl in the academy, said the girl with 2 pigtails. And I'm Udon and I like math, the boy with glasses and a running nose said. Boss, come play ninja with us, you haven't played with us in ages, the young Sarutobi said, eager to play with his friend and rival. Playing ninja, Naruto, you are a ninja? What kind of baka plays ninja when they are one? A new voice said. Hey boss, is that your girlfriend? Udon asked, curious of the relationship he had with the pink-haired kunoichi. Nah, I did like her when we were in the academy, but I grew out of it, Naruto said. That's good, that hair is like a neon sign. And that forehead looks like it needs to hit A8 to protect it properly, Konohamaru said jokingly. Hey Konohamaru, ... we better run, Naruto said, and got ready to chase after the young boy in the screeching banshee, chasing after him in case he needed some medical attention to heal his ears when she caught him. Unfortunately for the young monkey, he ran into a boy wearing a black full body suit and hood. Hey, watch where you're going, punk, said the older boy, grabbing the younger child by the shirt and lifting him up to head height. Kankuro, just let him go, said a tall girl with 4 ponytails and blonde. No, I'm going to teach this punk a lesson. I would advise you put him down, said Naruto, seeing the Hokage's grandson was in trouble. Oh yeah, and what are you going to do about it, said the boy, turning his head to glare at the blonde boy. Oh my god, you must be the worst looking girl I have ever seen, said Naruto in horror. Hey, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm a guy, said Kankuro, anger etched on his face. Then why the hell are you wearing all that makeup? Naruto choked out, causing a laugh from the girl. It's not makeup, it's war paint. Kami, how come nobody can see it's war paint? That's it, kid, you asked for this, said Kankuro, but before he could respond, Naruto had run forward and grabbed his arm, forcing him to wince in pain, dropping the honorable grandson. Konohamaru, I think you better head home. You don't need to see some crossdresser make a fool of himself this close to the Chunin exams, Naruto said, not taking his eyes off the older boy or the girl as she readied her battle fan. But before she could act, a wave of killer intent froze both her and Kankuro. Behind them stood a boy about the same age as Naruto, with red hair and black circles around his eyes, looking intently at Naruto. Gara, Kankuro stammered in fear of his younger brother. Kankuro, you are a disgrace to Suna. I am sorry for my brother's actions. I am Subaku no Gara. May I ask your name? The boy called Gara asked. Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki, the blonde responded evenly, carefully observing the red-haired boy as he released Kankuro's arm from his grip. A pleasure. Are you competing in the Chunin exams? The redhead asked. That I am. I take it by the fact you are here with your team that you are also completing, Naruto responded. I look forward to testing my existence against you, was Gaara's only response before turning to his team. Temari, Kankuro were leaving and he turned and left, followed by his team staying a good distance behind. The following day at the academy, Naruto arrived and headed to the third floor. But when he arrived on the second floor, he saw a group of genin in front of a door with a genjutsu on it. He was about to walk around when he noticed Sasuke and yell at the two gate guards Izumo and Kotetsu under Henge to drop the genjutsu. Naruto couldn't believe the stupidity of the last Uchiha to give away what was an obvious pretest to weed out the weaker candidates. Shaking his head, he moved on, ignoring the resulting tussle in which Rock Lee had intercepted a punch thrown at Sasuke, catching it easily. Team 7 caught up to Naruto as he was about to head up to level 3. HN, looks like they're letting everyone compete in this thing. If you're here, Dobi, this is an exam for the elites. Weaklings like you should have just stayed at home, Sasuke sneered upon seeing the blonde. Hey, and here I was thinking the same about you, Teme. Wow, small world, said Naruto, slightly annoyed the Uchiha still considered him weak. Sakura was about to reply in defense of her beloved Sasuke-kun but was cut off by the arrival of Rock Lee. Sasuke Uchiha, you are this year's Rookie of the Year and considered a genius. I would like to challenge you, said Lee. Sasuke smirked in arrogance before responding, you know this, yet you still challenge me. Yes, I do. I need to test myself against a genius to prove you can beat a genius with hard work, the green-clad ninja said loudly. Sure, why not? It's not like you can beat me, Uchiha, Sasuke said, confident this freak couldn't beat him. I wouldn't do it. Teme bushy brows is incredibly tough. I don't think you can win. Hell, I'm not even sure anyone from our graduating class could beat him, Naruto said in a warning. Naruto's warning was ignored though, and Sasuke charged Lee, which the green-clad ninja easily dodged and began what could only be described as one hell of an ass whooping on the poor Uchiha, much to the horror of the pink-haired harlot. Unfortunately, the horror was not quite over yet. Just as Lee was about to complete his final move, he was stopped by the arrival of the sensei of Team 9. Lee, what were you doing? I told you not to use that move, said the taller version of Lee. I'm sorry, Guy-sensei, I just wanted to prove hard work could beat a genius, said a downbeat Lee. List, Guy-sensei, Lee, Guy-sensei, oh shit, quick look away before it's too late. But it was Naruto's warning didn't come in time to save Team 7 from a genjutsu that not even the Sharingan could break, the fabled demonic beach sunset jutsu. Team 7 just sat there, unable to avert their eyes from the horror before them. When it was over, the group finally made their way upstairs into the exam room. When Naruto arrived, he noticed the rest of the rookie teams there, so decided to greet them. Hey guys, good to see you all made it, Naruto yelled, trying to ignore Ino and Sakura's arguments concerning what could only be considered the biggest brooder in Fire Country if not the world. Hey Naruto, you're here as well. How come? I thought you didn't have a squad, that's why you spent all the time with the other teams on missions. Choji asked. Yeah, my sensei Arasen convinced Hokage Jiji to let me compete by myself, said Naruto, stunning the genin in hearing range because of his lack of respect for the Hokage. Troublesome, was all Shikamaru said. Well, if we need to fight someone, I know where I'm going. The Dobi doesn't even have a team to back him up, said Kiba. You should probably quiet and down, you don't want to paint a target on your back, said a tall boy with silver hair and circular glasses that looked 2 or 3 years older than the rookie genin. Who are you? Said Naruto, wary of the new arrival. Oh, I'm sorry, my name is Kabuto, and seeing as you're rookie genin, I assumed you could use some information on the exams. I myself have taken them 7 times, Kabuto finished. Wow, 7 times? You must really suck, said Kiba. Well, the exams could be a lot harder than they appear, the spectacle-wearing genin said. Whatever, me and Akamaru are going to the finals, isn't that right, boy? The Inuzuka said, getting a bark in agreement from the puppy in his jacket. Anyway, I have these info cards. They have information on all the teams and even the individual members, said Kabuto. Okay then, Rock Lee, said Sasuke. Sabaku no Gaara, said Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto, even though it's troublesome to ask, finished Shikamaru. Oh, you know their names well, that's not hard, then let's see. Rock Lee, here we go. It says here he has no skill in Nin or Genjutsu because he has a disease which has led to underdeveloped chakra coils. but his taijutsu is off the charts. Team members are Hyuga, Neji and Tenten, and his sensei is Mideo Guy. He's done 42 D ranks and 35 C rank missions, Kabuto said before shuffling his cards. Okay, next is Subaku no Gara. Well, this is a shock. I have really little on him. All I can tell you is he has done 12 D ranks, 52 C ranks and 1 B rank mission and has never been injured, the silver-haired ninja informed the Konoha rookies. Okay, now for Uzumake Naruto. He was ranked bottom of his class in the academy, while his chakra and stamina is off the chart, with the only people in the village to rival his chakra levels are the Jiraiya of the Sannin and the Hokage himself. Genjutsu is non-existent, but Tai and ninjutsu are well above average. He was not given a genin squad and was instead taken on as the apprentice of Jiraiya. The Toad Sage and member of the Sannin has a wind affinity, but it doesn't have information on what jutsus he knows. Has completed 10D rank, 12C, 1B and WoW 1A rank mission. This is impressive. I would suggest avoiding Uzumake Naruto in this competition, the silver-haired genin said, noticing the proud look on the face of the blonde boy and the stunned look on the faces of those around him. Yeah, whatever, he probably just had a good team with him. There's no way Dobby could beat any of us, said Kiba. It would be unwise to underestimate any of your opponents, even ones from the new village. The Sound could prove difficult opponents, just as Kabuto finished a member of a Sound team with large gauntlets on each arm who had heard him jumped forward and attacked the silver-haired ninja, but he was able to dodge seconds later, though his glasses cracked from an unknown force. He pushes air out from the gauntlets on his arms. If you were to break the gauntlets, his attacks would become useless, thought Naruto, observing the attack and its effectiveness. Alright maggots, sit down, it's time for the first exam, came a voice as a large man with scars all over his face walked in and stood behind the desk. My name is Ibiki Morino, and I will be the proctor for the first test. You will have 1 hour to answer the 10 questions. You will not be given the final question until the final 10 minutes. If you are caught cheating, you and your team will be disqualified. That said, you can use whatever jutsu or abilities you want to get the answers. You begin now. He finished and sat down and smirked at the looks of horror on the genin's face when they saw the questions. These questions are far too difficult for a genin. Hell, I doubt most jonin could answer them. That could only mean that they want us to cheat. Yes, there are definitely several people placed in here who were given the answers. But how do I get them? Oh, I know, Naruto thought as he silently summoned a small toad and silently gave him orders before it puffed into smoke. 20 minutes later, the toad returned, handed Naruto the answers and again disappeared. Naruto filled out the answers, then sat back and waited for the test to be over. Finally, it came time for the last question, which once again had a new set of rules, so he wants to test if we have the guts to stick to the mission. A very clever test. I'm glad Arasenin gave me those books on psychology, otherwise I may not have realized, the blonde thought as he smirked. So Blondie, you look confident. You know if you get the question wrong you can never retake the test, Ibiki said, trying to intimidate Naruto. That's fine, Ibiki-san, I don't need to be a chunin for my dream to come true. It would be nice to get our missions, but I think I will risk it, thanks, Naruto said with a small smirk indicating that he had figured out the test. Damn, the kid figured it out. Oh well, I don't think I will get any more now. Well, anyone else? Okay, now the rest of you. Pass, the scared man said, and was about to continue when a black blur came crashing through the window, which turned out to be a woman with dark purple hair in a ponytail and looked like a pineapple, had on a open trench coat and see-through mesh top, making it obvious she did not wear a bra over her ample C-cup breasts. Behind her there was a sign that read Anko Mitarashi, sexy and single, proctor for the second exam. Chapter 8, The Forest and the Snakes. In the exam room, Naruto was both stunned and amused by the rival of the women he so affectionately called the crazy snake lady. It was a look of shock shared by most of the genin. There were a few exceptions. Gaara's face held no expression, whilst Kiba, Kankuro, and several others had perverted grins focused on that sexy and single Anko Mitarashi. Well, fuck, Ibiki, 34 teams left. You must be getting soft. Oh well, once I'm finished with them there will be less than half of these numbers. Okay, you little gackies, meet me at training ground 44 in an hour. And if one member on your team is late, your whole team fails. And with that, Anko left through the same broken window she came in, leaving the still stunned genin to register what just happened. Well, damn, a random genin stated, finally breaking everyone out of their stunned state. Training ground 44, the Forest of Death. Alright, you little pieces of shit. Welcome to my home away from home. Training ground 44, better known as the Forest of Death, Anko pronounced loudly so everyone could hear her. Naruto, however, just looked off with a bored expression, unimpressed with her attempts to intimidate the competitors. Anko saw the blonde wasn't affected by her little speech and deciding to make an example out of him took out a kunai and threw it at the blonde who was caught unawares as it sliced his cheek. Then she used a shunshin to appear behind him with another kunai to his neck. So you're not intimidated by the forest? Hey, well that's fine, but you won't have that pervert with you to scare the animals off this time, Anko said as she pressed her ample chest into his back and seductively licked the blood off his cheek. Naruto tried to remain calm but found it difficult. Even if he knew that Anko was just trying to scare him and the others, she was still a scary kunoichi. Then he also noticed the looks of jealousy some of the males were giving him and couldn't help but smirk. Yes, but Anko-chan, I contain a beast far more terrifying than anything that is found in the forest, and they know it, Naruto whispered into the sadistic kunoichi's ear. Anko was about to respond when they both felt a presence right behind them and quickly responded only to find a Kusa-ninja holding out her hand. I'm sorry Proctor-san, I was simply returning your kunai, the Kusa-ninja said before returning to her squad. You know, crazy snake lady, I think she might even be more creepy than you, Naruto said suppressing a shiver. Hey, I'll have you know I can be far more scary, Anko said in mock heart. Naruto arrived at gate 27 after signing his waiver forms. Upon looking at the neighboring gates, he found to his left were a team from AIM who was all rather tall and lanky, and to his left he found a team from Iwa who was looking at him with hatred and anger. Naruto felt uneasy as he recalled what Jiraiya had said about Iwa ninja. Flashback: kid in the Chunin exams and out in the field, a ninja might have to kill at any moment for a mission or to save a comrade. It's a sad fact of our life, but it's true, and there will be times that you are forced to kill to defend yourself. This is also important. So what I did is I went to the pet store in town and found the cutest bunny I could find. I swear this thing has a permanent puppy eyes jutsu on it. Here, look at it. Jiraiya finished pulling what could only be described as the definition of adorable. Oh my god, that thing is cute. I want to take it home and charge people to see it, said Naruto. Okay, Naruto, yeah, I want you to kill it. What? But it's just too cute. Come on, Ero-sen, and people would throw out fluffy kittens living in a shoe for that thing. And have you seen kittens living in a shoe, Ero-sen? They're adorable. How am I supposed to kill it? Naruto complained. You have to, because if you can kill this bunny, you can kill anything. Do you think I want it to go? Hell no, the cute sob got me late 3 times since I bought it, and that was only yesterday, Jiraiya said in his tone serious to emphasize what he needed the blonde to do before turning perverted. Fine, give me the bunny, and with that Naruto brought his blade up and ended the bunny's life. It's done now. Why was this so important that I couldn't get a first kill like every other normal ninja? The blonde asked. Because there will be some ninja who will target you, in particular, especially in this exam. You will be the one genin without a team, and that will make you a target, and I want you to be able to kill without the worry of it being your first kill, Jiraiya said seriously. Okay, I get it, Ero-sen, and I just wish I didn't have to kill such a cute animal. Couldn't you have used Tora? Although now I think about it, killing the demonic cat wouldn't have been hard at all, Naruto said, fantasizing about killing the bane of all genin. There is one more thing, Naruto, I want you to be extra careful of the teams from Iwa. They don't like Konoha at all, and to make matters worse, you happen to look a lot like the 4th Hokage, who was the main reason Iwa lost so many men in the 3rd Great Shinobi War. I want you to promise me that you will do what it takes to defend yourself and won't hesitate to kill if needed. The Toad Sage finished, giving Naruto a serious look to prevent him from arguing. Okay, Ero-sen, and I will make sure I will defend myself and whatever is necessary to defend myself or others. The blonde finished and the pair went back to training. Flashback: and now I see why Ero-sen warned me against the teams from Iwa. They really looks like they really hate me, Naruto thought as the buzzer rang, and he quickly made several clones and sent them in different directions around him as he headed deeper into the forest. Naruto headed through the treetops at an average speed till a clone dispersed and his memories came back of the Iwa team attack. Naruto decided to keep moving and wait till they caught up. Several minutes passed as Naruto ran before he felt chakra signature and movement behind him. Turning around, he saw the 3 Iwa genin glaring at him. The team was comprised of a tall boy around the height of Shino, a girl slightly taller than Naruto with 2 pigtails on either side of her head, and a short stocky boy even shorter than Naruto but wider than Choji. All 3 of them had the same dark brown hair and hazel eyes. Well, this is a bit sooner than I predicted, but I guessed they would catch up eventually. I mean, I wasn't exactly moving fast, so how do you guys want to do this? Do you want to give me your scroll, or do you want to loosen a highly embarrassing display of my strength, said the blonde, trying to intimidate the Iwa genin, hoping he wouldn't actually have to fight them. Whatever, you're alone and you look just like the yellow flash. Killing you will be our revenge for all the people he killed in the last war, the taller boy said. Well, I really didn't want to have to do this, but fine, said Naruto as he got into the Toad-style taijutsu stance. Don't rock armor, said the taller boy, who became covered in thick rock right up to his head whilst the shorter was still performing hand signs. Don't earth spears, he shouted. Pillars of rock shot up out of the ground and flew at the blonde, who quickly made a shadow clone to throw him out of the way before he was impaled like the clone. Well, you have some nice doujutsu, but you're going to need more than that, Naruto taunted, still hoping he didn't have to take the lives of the team. Shut up, you blonde punk, we're going to kill you, and there is nobody here to save you, you're all alone, the shorter boy said. Fine, but you asked for this, Naruto said, creating 6 shadow clones before charging the Iwa team. The clones and Naruto paired up, 2 for each, with Naruto and a clone taking the taller of the boys on the team. The rock armor had made the Iwa genin slow, but his defense proved impenetrable. Even with all of his strength, Naruto failed to make more than a couple of cracks in the armor. Even despite all hits landing on vital spots, the tall genin didn't seem phased. Damn, I can't damage him at all. What am I supposed to do? I have to think of something quick because I do not want to get hit with one of those punches. I need to create enough force to break through that armor. Yes, I got it. Jumping back while his clone continued to cause a distraction, Naruto made another shadow clone and threw a kunai while the clone finished the hand signs for the jutsu Fudo and Gale Palm. A compressed pocket of air shot out from the clone's hand and caught the kunai, more than quadrupling the speed and power behind the kunai. The taller Iwa genin didn't see the kunai till it was too late, and it passed through his rock armor over his heart like it wasn't even there. Brother, the smaller of the boys yelled while the girl looked on, shocked, having just dispatched the clones fighting her and her shorter team member. Well, 1 down, 2 to go, Naruto said, his voice emotionless as he turned to face the remaining rock ninja holding his hand. Naruto and the clone beside him started to form a Rasengan while the 2 other ninja were unaware of the threat coming from behind them. The shorter of the 2 began realizing that they may just have been in over their head. And at seeing a jutsu feared all over Earth Country, began sweating as Naruto began slowly moving towards them, picking up speed as he went with each tree he jumped from. Run, I will hold him off, the boy yelled to his female teammate as he pushed him to intercept the blonde. But she was frozen in place with fear of the blonde who had killed her teammates so easily, and she could only watch as Naruto drove a Rasengan through the chest of her other male companion. She was about to scream when she felt pain rush up through her. Looking behind her, she saw a Naruto clone had just forced a kunai into her back over her heart. He looks like he is in such pain. He wasn't the enemy we forced him to kill. The final thoughts of the girl as she faded into death as she looked into the eyes of her killer. Please let them have an Earth Scroll. I do not want to have to fight another team, Naruto begged to nobody as he searched the bodies, finding his objective before sealing the scroll into another with a blood seal where he stored his Heaven Scroll. Oh Kami, thank you, I can head towards the tower without having to be forced to fight another team, the blonde thought as he kicked off towards the tower. 10 minutes later and the tower had just come into view, much to the relief of the blonde. Suddenly a massive chakra spike caught Naruto's attention. That's not a Genin's chakra, that level rivals my own and I have Kyuubi. And it definitely wasn't demonic. What could it be? What if it's with one of the rookie teams? Damn it, what do? I have to check it out. I still have 4 days to get here anyway. And Naruto pushed off from the branch. He stopped in the direction of the disturbance. Naruto had just slowed down upon sensing 2 chakra levels way above Genin level and decided to suppress his own and creep closer, thankful that training in Genjutsu taught him how to suppress his chakra levels to aid in the release. Sneaking close enough to hear what was going on whilst remaining hidden from sight, Naruto discovered that one of the voices was Anko, and she sounded scared and angry. "Ah, Anko-chan, you seem to be doing well. The last time I saw you I had just marked you." "Oh, how time flies," the second voice sneered. "Orochimaru, what are you doing here?" Anko spat, trying to contain her fear. "Oh, I was just admiring the talent of this year's Genin, and I was so impressed I choose to give one of them a gift." Orochimaru swooned. "You didn't," Anko stammered. "Oh, but I did. I think Sasuke-kun will make a fine apprentice, even better than you were." "That's if he survives, of course, but I think his will to live is strong, and so is his hatred." Orochimaru chuckled at the expression on his former pupil's face. Now, Anko-chan, don't worry yourself. If you're lucky, I may even come back for you. Go to hell." "Shadow sneak hands," Anko yelled as several snakes shot forward. My Anko-chan, I think you're forgetting who taught you that jutsu. It is done like this," he said, and snakes shot out from Orochimaru's hands heading for Anko, who appeared frozen in place. Naruto acted on instinct, performing the Gale Palm and knocking the snakes off course. My, what do we have here if it isn't a little leaf genin? You shouldn't stick your nose in where it doesn't belong, boy. I am simply having a conversation with my former pupil, the snake said, leaking out killer intent. Naruto saw the look on Anko's face. She was frozen in fear. Naruto knew he had to do something or else she was dead. He had no other choice. He had to use the yokai cloak. Channeling the fox's yokai, Orochimaru was shocked to see the boy be able to draw out this much. This boy must be the Kyuubi brat. This complicates things. I can't kill him or the Akatsuki will be after me. Well, let's see what this boy can do. Get away from her, Naruto said, his voice sounding demonic. Get away from her now. Naruto began to fall from the tree, but a hand of red yokai extended from the cloak and pulled him up to a level surface, but where the hand had grabbed the tree was burned and blackened. You okay, crazy snake lady? You're not hurt, are ya? Naruto asked, concern showing despite the presence of the demon's chakra. Yeah, I'm fine, Anko managed to stutter out, still frozen but now not in fear but in awe of the young genin's ability. Oh, this boy, to think he has such control over Kyuubi at this young age. Oh, he will become very useful in dealing with the Akatsuki, but what if he becomes a threat to me? No, I will deal with it when it comes, not now. But I have to hit him with a 5-element seal and get out of here before the Hokage comes to investigate, Orochimaru thought while charging the seals on his fingers and jumping forward. The blonde watched as Orochimaru charged, waiting for him. Conscious thought beginning to slip in his bloodlust words, the snake began taking over and he didn't notice the seals Orochimaru had formed. Fortunately, Anko had. Just as he was about to mark the boy, Anko reacted, throwing a kunai piercing the snake's hand. Can't have me owing you now, Gaki, Anko said, relieved she was able to prevent her former sensei from having his way. Naruto, realizing he couldn't control the fox cloak any longer, released it in a huff. Thanks for that, snake lady. Now how about we get this snake? I still have a few tricks up my sleeve, the blonde said, creating a small army of shadow clones. The clones attacked the now injured Orochimaru, but despite his injured state was able to easily dispatch them as if they were nothing but a nuisance. Anko summoned a small snake and began poisoning her kunai and throwing them, which Orochimaru noticed, causing him to chuckle. Cuckoo, my dear Anko, do you really think poisons will work against me? I am immune to all snake-related poisons. I thought you would have guessed that, he finished with a smirk. Damn it, I am running out of ideas fast. What about you? Naruto asked as he tossed another kunai at the closet pedophile. I have a few, but I don't know how well they will work. He was one of the legendary Sannin after all, Anko replied. Yeah, but we still have to try. I'm sure Gigi would have felt my chakra when I was using the fox, and has probably sent someone to investigate by now, so we don't need to hold out much longer, Naruto responded, throwing another kunai only to have it blocked by the aggravated snake Sannin. Orochimaru was fed up and started doing in signs. Futon, great breakthrough, he yelled as he took a deep breath in and spewed out a torrent of air, removing branches and uprooting some of the smaller trees as it headed straight towards the unlikely partners. Unable to escape the jutsu, they both tried to cling onto the ground with chakra, but the wind had such force behind it neither Naruto nor Anko stood a chance. Quickly getting to his feet, Naruto saw Anko had a far harder trip and was suffering from at least a broken arm and was struggling to stand. Naruto was about to head over to help her when Orochimaru appeared behind him and gave him a kick to the side, sending him careening into a tree, knocking the wind out of him as he casually walked towards the snake mistress without a care in the world. The snake stood over the purple-headed Kunoichi, who was still trying to stand, and summoned several snakes to hold her down as he do a kunai to finish her. Cuckoo, look at you now, Anko-chan. Sasuke-kun will make a much better apprentice than you ever were. He was broken out of his musings as he had a kunai come flying towards him at inhumane speeds. Turning, he saw Naruto and a clone huffing from exhaustion. The legendary snake Sannin casually caught the kunai in the hand he was holding his own and flung them at the blonde. Fast for him to react, both kunai hit in the leg to incapacitate but not killed, but the snake was shocked when both turned into smoke, indicating a shadow clone. Then he felt a large chakra pulse from just above him. Looking up, Orochimaru didn't have time to dodge and was slammed in the face with a Rasengan, sending the snake flying and lying in a crumpled heap dead. Naruto relaxed and went to help Anko up, but when he got there, he saw a look of sheer horror on her face. Whirling around, he saw a pair of hands protruding from Orochimaru's mouth, and just like a snake shedding his skin, Orochimaru stood there with no signs of battle. Cuckoo, well, it's been fun. I am glad to say you amused me in the battle. I look forward to seeing how you progress, Naruto-kun, but sadly I can't stay. It is becoming far too crowded. And just like that, the snake dissolved into the ground without a trace. Naruto kept his guard up, expecting another attack, but when he saw 4 new people in the trees above, he realized why Orochimaru had fled. The Sandaime Hokage arrived in the clearing to see Naruto standing defensively standing over an unconscious snake mistress, but soon relaxed when he saw the Hokage. "Naruto, what happened here? I felt a massive amount of Kyuubi's chakra," Hiruzen said urgently. "Well, Gigi, about 40 minutes ago I felt a massive chakra spike in the forest that wasn't from a genin and it wasn't demonic, so I went to check it out. On my way there I found Anko-san here in conversation with Orochimaru of the Sannin." Hiruzen visibly paled at this. Then the blonde continued, "I had noticed Anko was frozen and needed help, but I am obviously no match for the snake Teme. I knew I needed help, but I didn't know how to send for it with the message reaching you in time for it to make a difference. So I channeled as much of the Kyuubi's chakra I could until the one-tailed cloak formed and I acted quickly, knocking Orochi Tame away from Anko. Unfortunately I cannot hold that form for more than 2 minutes at my current strength." Naruto sighed. "Afterwards I dropped the cloak and with help from Anko was able to hold him off until you arrived, Gigi," Naruto said, swaying from exhaustion. "I see. Do you have both scrolls to complete the test?" the Hokage asked. "Yeah, I got my second off Samiwa ninja who seemed to really hate me for looking like the fourth Hokage," Naruto said with a somber expression on his face. Hiruzen winced at the thought of Iwa finding out about Naruto's heritage, while the Anbu present were just realizing how much the boy did in fact look exactly like Minato Namikaze. "Naruto, what happened to the Iwa team?" the Hokage asked. Naruto looked down as if ashamed. "I killed them. They didn't give me a choice. I gave them a chance to leave and they refused to take it and attacked, stating killing me was their revenge," Naruto said sadly. The aged Hokage internally sighed in relief that the genin were dead. Even though he did like that the young boy had to kill, he was glad the risk of Iwa finding out who Naruto really was were much smaller now. "Well, you better make it to the tower quickly so you can have a proper rest. I will take Anko-chan to the hospital," the Hokage said as he and his Anbu vanished in his shunshin. Less than 30 minutes later Naruto arrived at the tower, deciding he had to open them now. He discovered when the smoke cleared from the scroll that Iruka was standing there looking upon the boy with pride. "Well done, Naruto, you are actually the second team here after a team from Suna. You look like hell, by the way." "Naruto, what happened to you out there?" Iruka said in interest. "It's a long story, Iruka-sensei. Let's go in and I will tell you all about it," said the blonde as they made their way into the tower. Naruto was looking forward to a nice long rest before the next exam. Chapter 9 Preliminaries. In the days since Naruto arrived from the tower, things had been rather peaceful for the blonde. He gave a full report to the Hokage with Anko the day she had left the hospital, and after that the only time he had been put on edge was when he felt a large chakra spike from the forest on the third day of the exam. Other teams started arriving after that, and Naruto was happy to see the Team 10 and Team Guy arrive for the most part unharmed. The days passed for the blonde, relaxing until the final day came and he was asked to come to the ground level for the conclusion of the second round. Upon entering the hall, Naruto was able to discover that all of the other teams had made it from the rookie year, with teams 8 and 7 arriving earlier that day but still not showing much in the way of fatigue. This was when he became aware of the other people in the room. On a platform surrounding the hall were the Jonin senseis of what he assumed were the passing teams, while at the front of the hall the Hokage sat with Jiraiya standing beside him. Anko and another sickly-looking Jonin were standing in front of the genin awaiting the Hokage to speak. "Well done everyone for making it through the forest of death, but before we continue I would like to tell you about the third exam," the old Hokage said. In years past the Chunin exams was a contest in a fight to the death between the best of the rising talent of every nation and was often used to help settle disputes with other villages. This custom has not changed, and the final exam is a tournament that is observed by potential clients and dynamos from all over the elemental countries. Hiruzen continued, I think I can take over from here, Hokage-sama," the sickly Jonin said, and he stepped forward. "My name is Gakko Hayate and I will be your proctor for the preliminaries." Hayate was cut off by loud complaints from the group of competitors. "What do you mean preliminaries? We just got out of the forest," Kiba yelled. "We have far too many competitors at the moment and the preliminary rounds are designed to weed out those who are not worthy of being here or coasted through on your teams. strength because whilst strength in a team is important, individual skills are needed to become a chunin and to lead missions. The sick Jonin ended with a cough. Now is there anyone who would like to give up for any reason? The proctor stated before once again entering into a coughing fit. Kabuto and Sai both pulled out at this stage. What Sai, what gives? You can't be in that bad shape, right? Sakura asked loudly. I am exhausted, Sakura. 5 days in the forest were stressful and I am low on chakra. It would be unwise for me to compete in any fights. We simply didn't make it here on time. I will do better next exam, Sai stated, giving the pink head a blank look. Anybody else? Hayate waited. Okay, good. Now the matches will be shown up on the screen. Everyone else will move up to the viewing area. Now the first match will be Uchiha Sasuke vs Akato Yoroi. The remaining combatants left the floor to the observation level with only Sasuke and an older Leaf Genin remaining with Hayate, while Anko moved to stand next to the Hokage as Jiraiya made his way up to talk to his student and the other Jonin. So Gaki, I heard you ran into my snake of a teammate in the forest, the Toad Sage whispered. For the blonde, yeah, he's really creepy. I mean, I actually thought I killed him as well, but he just shed his body for another like he was unaffected. I guess I was totally outclassed, Naruto said, hanging his head. Yeah, but don't feel too bad. You held your own until help arrived and I am proud of you, and you also were able to do something I have wanted to do for a long time. Shove a Rasengan right through the bastard's face. The white-haired man ended with a chuckle before turning to the arena floor. Sasuke vs Yoroi. The match started and Yoroi quickly threw several shuriken at the waiting Uchiha, who was able to easily block him with a kunai before rushing forward. Sasuke sent a punch towards the older ninja's face, but he dodged it and attempted a leg sweep, knocking Sasuke over. Quickly responding, the Uchiha tripped Yoroi and sent him tumbling to the ground before being placed in an arm lock. Really, is that all you got? Yoroi said as his free hand grabbed Sasuke and began draining his chakra and strength. Easily breaking the hold, the older Leaf Ninja sent a powerful punch, knocking the raven-haired Avenger into a wall before he fell on the ground, struggling to stand. Making it to his feet, Sasuke started forming hand seals, but as he went to blow out a fireball, he collapsed from the pain in his neck. Stands, so the Orochimaru's curse mark is gaining more influence when he uses chakra. This will be interesting. Kakashi, do you need me to seal the mark after this fight? Jiraiya asked the silver-haired ninja, shocking the pink-haired witch that they knew already about her true love's condition. No, I can do it. I know you don't want to miss Naruto's match, and I am confident I can use a proficient suppressor seal. Besides, he is my student and my responsibility. The silver-haired Jonin finished with a nice smile. Anyway, it looks like your student is about to win anyway. That Yoroi kid ran out of steam fast, Jiraiya concluded. Arena floor. Lion's Barrage, Sasuke screamed, sending the elder ninja crashing to the ground before dropping his leg to make sure he was unconscious. After the brooder was declared the winner, he turned to walk to the rest of the competitors but was stopped by his sensei reading his ever-present orange book. Well, congrats Sasuke, you did an excellent job in your match, but now I think it's time to get that little mark of yours taken care of. The copy ninja finished leaving with Sasuke in a shunshin. The contestants turned to the board to find out who the next competitors were. They finally stopped on Shino Aburame vs Zaku from the Sound Village. Naruto found the match rather interesting, especially as Zaku used what appeared to be a type of wind style used without hand seals, but Naruto soon found there were tubes in his arms, which became obvious when Shino's bugs blocked the airways and his arms exploded, causing his arms to explode. With the Beatles winner Shino Aburame, Hayate stated calmly, the next match is Subaku no Kankuro vs Tsurugi Masumi. He finished as the two genin made their way down to the ground floor. What followed was a highly amusing match where the elder ninja was completely oblivious to the fact he was fighting a puppet until the very end. Man, he was able to win without actually have to do anything. Now that's my kind of fight, said Shikamaru. Kami, you're so lazy. Shikamaru, don't you want to be cool like Sasuke-kun, said Ino in a lecturing tone. Troublesome, was the lazy Nara's only response. The next match was Sakura vs Ino and could only be described as pathetic. It was dominated by Ino, but by some strange coincidence, the blonde girl's body transfer jutsu was not able to hold, and in the end both young Kunoichi knocked each other out, the match ending in a tie. The following match was Tenten vs Subaku no Tamari, and despite Konoha's young weapons mistress showing fine skills, she was no match for the Sand Kunoichi's wind-based attacks from her fans, which Naruto was quite jealous of. Damn, I want a big fan like that. Look at the power she has with her wind attacks, the blonde exclaimed loudly, getting a smirk from the Kunoichi, heading back up to her teammates. Nah, you don't need it, Gaki. Once you master your wind element, you will be able to do far better than that. Despite the fans uses it it would be heavy and only suited for a long-range fighter, Jiraiya explained, getting a nod and understanding from the blonde. The following match was Shikamaru Nara vs Kin of the Sound Village, which the lazy Nara won by easily outsmarting the sound Kunoichi by casting a thin shadow along the thread of her chakra strings, then forced her by the use of his shadow possession to hit her head on the wall behind, knocking her out. The next match is Uzumaki Naruto vs Inuzuka Kiba. The proctor called as the names blazed on the screen. Yeah, I got the jackpot. No way can I lose this. I mean, I am only fighting the Dobi. Kiba yelled, his voice filled with joy at having the so-called Dobi as an opponent. I feel sorry for the poor boy. There is no way Kiba will lose this, Kurenai said in confidence to the surrounding Jonin and Genin. I think you are forgetting who his teacher is, Kakashi said boldly. What do you mean? Kurenai asked. He means I have trained my student far too well for him to lose here. I would go so far as to say that if he loses I would give up my research for a year, came the confident voice of the Toad Sage, who had walked over to talk to Kakashi. What do you think, Kakashi? I think Naruto will win. He is easily Chunin level, the silver-haired ninja said, shocking the red-eyed Jonin. Arena floor. You should just give up now, loser. You're no match for me and Akamaru, and I don't think you will want to be embarrassed any more than you already are wearing that orange jumpsuit, the dog trainer joked. Well, I guess there is only one way to find out if I am really an embarrassment or if you're just all talk, kibble, Naruto taunted, getting into the defensive Toad stance. Kiba was shocked, not recognizing the stance from any that he had ever seen before. Up in the stands. What is that stance? Asked Kurenai, who was now curious and still skeptical of the blonde's abilities. Jiraiya was about to answer, but he was beaten to it by Guy. That Kurenai is the Toad style used by Jiraiya-sama and is a highly effective defensively focused style that uses the opponent's speed against them and attacks with large powerful movement. Young Naruto is quite proficient at it, and to a lesser extent my Goken style, which he picked up in his most youthful spars with young Lee, the green-clad ninja said to the others, who then went on to ignore his shouts of how brightly Naruto's flames of youth were burning. Match. I will win this so easily I won't even need Akamaru, Kiba said as he took the puppy out of his jacket and settled into his own stance. Kiba wasted no time and pushed off at high speeds, but Naruto easily jumped to the side, grabbing the fist of the onrushing animal enthusiast and skillfully used his momentum to land a kick in his side and whipped him around, throwing the Inuzuka back where he came from. Hey, I guess this might actually be a bit of a challenge, sneered Kiba as he picked himself up off the ground. Man beast clone, he shouted as Akamaru changed into a perfect copy of his master. Oh, I thought you weren't going to need the puppy, Naruto said in mock surprise, still not having moved from the spot he started the match. It seems his speed has greatly increased. I could remove my weights, but I think I can manage this. I don't want to give away all my tricks before the finals, the blonde thought. Both dog and trainer attacked at the same time, looking to give Naruto no escape. Both attacks arrived at the same time. Naruto quickly spun away to his right, gracefully dodging both attack, but they didn't let up on their assault, and despite the reflexes and great defense of the blonde, several attacks were still getting through, and eventually Naruto was knocked back enough and both Kiba and his clone charged. Katsuga, the dog trainer, yelled, and both spun so quickly they looked like a couple of twisters heading straight for the blonde. A direct hit in the ground shattered around him, spewing rock and dust into the air. When the smoke finally cleared, Kiba was walking out of the crater with a smirk on his face. Proctor, call the match. He is going to need medical attention. Well, in that case the winner is— wait, there is no way I am done yet. The voice of Naruto rung out as he climbed out from the crater behind the now stunned Kiba with some torn and dirty clothes, but otherwise fine. Well, it looks like I played around with you a little too long, Kiba. It's time to get serious, said Naruto, and he got back into his Toad stance. Whatever, Dobi, just give up already. You can't beat me, Kiba yelled as he and Akamaru once again charged the blonde. This time, however, Naruto jumped right over one Kiba and kicked the other aside in one fluid movement, landing behind the first, using the momentum of the speedy Inuzuka to throw him forward into the wall. Jumping back, Naruto took out a kunai and wrapped a tag around it and waited for the Kibas to recover. After they regrouped, they began to circle their prey and once again attacked from either side. This time Naruto just stood there until they were close enough before throwing his kunai at the ground between his feet. Smoke exploded from the kunai, and when it finally cleared, Naruto was standing there with his eyes closed and in a hand holding his nose, while both Kiba and his clone were having sneezing fits. My new pepper smoke exploding tags, perfect against people with heightened sense of smell. Now to finish this, I am going to steal a move from Sasuke, but I think mine will be better," said Naruto, making 20 clones. The clones rushed forward, kicking both Kiba and his clone into the air, then another kick in midair sent them further up. Uzumaki Naruto barrage. Naruto finished with 5 clones jumping behind the flying Kiba and delivering a spin kick in the dog trainer's chest, sending him crashing to the floor before Naruto finished it with a kick to the head, knocking the poor Inosuke out because his opponent is unable to continue. The whiner is Uzumaki Naruto, the sickly proctor said. Through several coughing fits, Naruto went to check on Kiba, placing his puppy on the stretcher as Hinata ran down to check on her teammate. Congratulations Naruto-kun, you were really impressive," the shy blue-haired girl stuttered out. "Thanks Hinata, I am sure Kiba will be alright, don't worry too much, good luck in your match," Naruto said offhandedly as he walked past her to where Jiraiya was waiting for him. With Naruto and Jiraiya, "Congrats Gaki, you're into the finals and you didn't give away much in terms of skill. I am proud of you," Jiraiya said, voice lost with pride. "Thanks Arasenin," Naruto said, happy to receive the praise of his sensei, not caring that the fatherly smile the Toad sage head was now replaced with an irritated mock scowl at the boy's chosen nickname. The following match is Hyuga Hinata vs Hyuga Neji. The proctor called out both Neji and Hinata were skilled in taijutsu, but the longer the match went on, the more obvious it was that Hinata, while skillful, was not on the same level as her cousin, and the attacks were nowhere near as intense. At the end of the match, Neji went for a final attack to finish his younger cousin, but was stopped by the observing Leaf Jonin. "So this is the favoritism, the main house gets even here," Neji raged. "The match was over and you went to kill. That is not picking a favorite or defending her because of what house she's in." Kurenai harshly spat at the usually stoic Hyuga. "What was that for? Hey, isn't she your family? Why would you attack her like that?" Naruto yelled from the railings. "Shut up loser, a failure like you doesn't know what he's talking about. It is fate that the strong will move on while the weak will fail. It's impossible to change destiny," Neji said, not caring to see the looks of disgust on the surrounding Jonin and a look of disappointment from his sensei. "Well then I am just going to have to prove you wrong because I am going to win this tournament and become a Chunin, and if I have to beat your ass to do it, all the better," Naruto yelled in defiance. "HMPH, like a loser, like you could beat me," and with that Neji walked away to the other side of the hall. Okay, now that the floor is cleared, the next match is Subaku no Gaara vs Rock Lee. The proctor, after Neji and the Jonin had returned to the observation area. "Josh, now I can show everyone just how brightly my flames of youth burn," the energetic thick eyebrow ninja yelled. "Go get him, Lee," Guy said to his miniature, striking his famous nice guy pose. The match was a real eye-opener on the mysterious redhead's ability. Nothing Lee could do would get past the sand, blocking his attacks from hitting their mark, and Gaara just looked on with his arms folded, slightly amused at the Leaf Ninja's efforts to hurt him. "That's quite a skill, no doubt, but I know bushy brows ain't done yet." "No, far from it. Come on Lee, show them what you got," Naruto thought, eagerly looking on at the fight, hoping to see something special. "Lee, take them off," the voice of Guy rang out. "Are you sure, sensei? You told me never to take them off unless a comrade was in danger," Lee replied. "I give you permission, now take them off," Guy ordered as Lee began reaching down to his leg warmers. "Now this should be interesting. I knew Lee used weights like me, but how much will that help him?" Naruto was brought out of his mental monologue when a loud crash shocked everyone in the room and Lee took off in a blur. "What a speed, I don't even think I could keep up with him when I am using some of Kyuubi's chakra," the blonde thought as he watched Lee. With his now enhanced speed, he was able to get through the passive defense of the sand and land hits on the unstable Suna ninja. This continued for some time, but despite how hard Lee tried, Gaara still remained standing. Deciding to go in for a match-winning move, Lee opened several of the 8 inner gates and charged Gaara, performing the hidden lotus before shakily getting to his feet. "Amazing bushy brows. I sure hope I don't have to fight you early on in the finals. I would probably need a full-tail yokai cloak just to survive a move like that," the blonde thought, but was shocked when Sand rushed out and grabbed Lee around the ankle and wrist, crushing it before moving to spread across his body. "Impossible," were the thought of almost everyone in the stands as Gaara lay on the floor with his face cracking and parts dropping off what appeared to be a condensed layer of sand. He uses the sand to form armor just like the Iwai ninja I had to fight in the forest. Only by the looks of it, this sand armor does not affect movement in the same way. They have to stop the match now or bushy brows is dead. Naruto finished his thoughts and was about to jump down to help his friend, but was not as fast as Guy, who knocked the sand off his pupil before taking him over to the medics. Gaara won the match because of the interference, but it didn't matter to him. He was angered that he had been denied a kill. The next match was Joji Akamichi versus Dosu of Sound. The young Leaf Genin showed he was strong, but the last remaining Sound villager was able to easily overcome using sound waves from his gauntlet to knock the young Akamichi out and winning the final match. Okay, now that the contestants have been decided, we will draw numbers for the first round of the finals. The proctor called after the matches were decided, and Naruto couldn't be happier. He had Neji. He would prove to him that a loser can be better than him. After all, he was the class joke. The dead last. The fights were Naruto versus Neji, Sasuke versus Gaara, Shino versus Kankuro, Temari versus Dosu, Shikamaru fights the winner of match. And with that done, the fighters left the arena to spend the next month training for the final exam. Well, I will stop here. Thank you for watching this. I am glad that you enjoy this video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.